going on, man?
Nothing. Just hanging out.
Yeah. I feel like I had just seen you, man. Like it was just a few hours ago we
It's just
were
a couple.
so tell me what you got going on, man. What are you smoking on?
Whatever roaches you left in my ashtray, because I smoke
Fair
so
enough.
little, it's fine. So whatever you rolled while you were over here, actually.
Well, yeah. That's that I'm smoking the same thing. I think this is the rest of the volume 2, the Trop Whiz that iStig grew. So
Yep,
shout out
yep.
iStig for keeping us high for our past couple days.
I know. Yeah, especially the mango smile at the concert.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, man. It was great, man. Fucking I think that's like the second or third mango smile that I think I grew. So I grew one. I know Master Yoda grew some. You've had that one. So and I think they're all pretty
I
true to each
grew
other.
as well.
There you go. Yep. So you've had all these different types, and I think they all pretty stay kind of true to each other. So it's pretty
Yeah, it's
cool.
good. It's been consistent.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Right
It's
on.
good. It's good genetics. I mean, that
Yeah.
is like one of their biggest strains, right?
One of the
And it probably
mainstays.
is one of
Yeah.
the
I mean,
one of the
yeah,
more developed
absolutely.
ones.
Yeah, I'd have to look. I'd be interested to see what the parents are of that strain because I know there's they've done a lot with it, and I think Daz is even that's a lot. Some of his work is within some of the parents that I think he's used in his breeding projects, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
We're not night owl historians or anything.
No, no, no.
But yeah, we saw Primus, Coheed and Cambria, and Puddles Pity Party last night.
Yeah, Puddles Pity Party, man. He has got quite the voice, and
Yeah.
I love that his little opening act for nobody that's ever seen him before. Like when he comes out, there's like this guy. The only thing that I can describe to you is it sounds like a guy from Boston, and he is basically like talking shit and saying how bad this whatever this thing is that looks up on stage, and it's basically him coming out like looking in pain, and he's just kind of hanging out, and he does such a good job with his show, and he is quite the singer, and I don't know the names of the songs, but you had them off the top of your head, the ones that he had done the vocals to, and then it was actually a different track. What was that?
Oh, oh yeah. So one of the songs he sang was "Folsom Prison Blues" by Johnny Cash, but it
Yep.
was over the music for "Pinball Wizard" by The Who. And
Okay.
then he
Yeah.
did it a few songs later. He did it backwards, so he sang "Pinball Wizard" over "Folsom Prison."
That's so awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got
he did a
he's got some
lot
talent.
of really creative things during that set.
Yeah. And then of course him coming on and doing Holy Diver. So
Oh
that
yeah,
was
he rocked
awesome.
that so hard.
Yeah.
Because I even
Yeah.
felt like he was out of character a little bit for that. Because he
Oh
was
yeah.
all like melancholy. He was just rocking out so hard.
Yeah. He has got one hell, and I feel like I've seen uh, he's got to be over like 6 foot something. He is a tall dude, so he just looks like this big, huge, lanky, like larger than life type guy, and he's got quite the thing going on for him.
Yeah, I don't
So
know much about him other than like I've watched performances of him. I watched when he was on America's Got Talent. Well,
yeah,
I
that's
don't
where he
watch that
came up,
show, but
right?
I saw the clips on YouTube. I think he was getting popular before that appearance. It was like one of those things where he like booked it trying to blow up, but then blew up before
And
kind of thing.
yeah,
'Cause I
yeah.
believe he also has been on tour with Tenacious D,
Okay, I could
which makes
definitely see
sense.
that. I could definitely see that. Yeah, it was when you told me. I think there was originally supposed to be someone else that was going to play the opener, um, and then it ended up
Yeah,
being that guy. I was super stoked. I was like, I
yeah,
did not expect him, but I'll take it, and he did great. So, and then of course Coheed. That's one of your favorite all time bands, and uh,
yep,
what is that? The 100th time you've seen them live
yeah.
now?
Set, I think it's seventh.
Okay.
But yeah, their set was really cool. They played a little bit off of every album, basically, and they had their backdrop was all these video panels. Well, for all the bands, it was these
Yes.
video panels, and they would line up with whatever the theme of the song was.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was
So it
cool.
would put like the album cover type, like with
Yep,
the album cover
like
logos
an
and stuff like.
animation in it,
Yeah, yeah. It
and
was sick.
and then they also had these like light up arrows on the stage that were doing all these crazy things.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really cool venue, and I mean, it was just it just goes. It's so relaxed. Like I feel like as soon as we got there and we got out of the car, boom, you're hit with like a waft of weed, and then like people with tie-dye shirts or like metal shirts walking up. Like there was such a cool mixed crowd there. Everybody was awesome. Of course, we had some of the drunk people that seemed to be attracted to you and your wife. And
So many drunk people came up and talked to us. Like, why are we approachable like that?
Yeah,
we're both very antisocial.
we all kind of like just like there was four of us, and we all kind of stood off to one side, and we were just we're not the type of people that are up hopping around or dancing, and none of us are drinkers, so it was just kind of we're just there enjoying. We had some allegedly so some joints were consumed there allegedly, so it was a lot of fun. It was dude, I felt like it was just, I mean, it's everywhere now. Nobody cares, and it's really cool to see. So
yeah, to be fair, that venue never really cared. As long as long as you sneak it inside, you're good, basically.
I think as long as you're respectable about it, right?
Yeah. Well, because I don't know if you ever been to a concert like that, but it's basically like going through a airport checkpoint. Like you have to go through bag check, then pat down, then metal detector, and then.
So, a lot of the ones, like I go to like casino, like I've gone to the casino, and that they're pretty strict. But I was actually quite surprised. Like they had us go through two different. Like you go through the first one, they're checking everything, making you take your hat off, and then you go through the metal detector. I was like, holy shit, it was pretty serious. But then I was like, what's the point of checking everybody if everybody's already got the, you're getting weed in there and all.
Yeah. I was actually selected for additional screening.
Yeah. Out of all four of us, we were all standing in a line. Actually, I think I had ended up, I wasn't paying attention to y'all, and I got off on my own line, and they ushered us all through, and there's Nerd getting cavity searched, looking suspicious.
Had me bend over and everything. Yeah. Just snap the glove.
Just to see Coheed, man. Things to do. Huh?
So I think it was my wallet, because I have a metal wallet.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well,
also, you got a compliment on your shirt from a drunk guy?
So I was rocking my Alabrije shirt, the Mary Moose one that he designed, that little tie-dye one, and just had some like random dude just like walk up to me and was like, "Love the fucking shirt, man." I was like, "Hell yeah." And then we were walking out, and I had gotten a little bit ahead of you guys, and I had just looked back, and there was this guy that had like caressed my shoulder. It was like him and his wife were walking together, and he came up and like caressed my shoulder, and I thought it was you, so I was like, "Hey," like I like, kind of scared me for a second, right? And then he mumbled, like I tried my best to understand what he was saying, but he's like, "Your beard, it's beautiful." He's like, "I just want to let you know you're an inspiration." I was like, "Oh, thanks."
His beard was rocking too.
It was good, man. He had his nice little hand on my. That's the thing with mine. Mine is all natural. It just grow like I just like I'll get out of the shower. I put some of my some of the stuff in just to make it so it's not like a crazy mess. But yeah, it was pretty funny, man. It's always nice.
You don't do any trimming or anything?
No. So the only trimming that I do is right here along the cheek line, and then right here on the back. Everything else is this October will be 2 years of me just growing it. Yeah, I haven't done any. I don't fade it in. Just cut my hair, cut the sides, send it.
So one thing I always make sure I do, like at least once a week, is I'll brush my mustache down, and then I'll cut anything that's curling over my lips, so that way you don't get it in your mouth while you're eating and stuff. But yeah, I do fade the sides on mine.
Do you?
But I don't touch the length down here.
my thing is my hair is so straight, right? So like it's basically just keeping it from not like fizzing out, and I'll comb it every once in a while. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I like the mustache, but eating a sandwich, you kind of have to learn how to like eat it, like re-eat, and certain things. I mean, it's like I go in public, and it's just if I'm gonna eat something that I know is a mess, it's like either like I just warn people like, hey, sorry,
Yeah,
this is the
yeah,
price
it's about to
price
get
of
gnarly.
having this. Like, yeah, like sorry, you've got to see this, but it's gonna get pretty bad.
You're-
Do you have some
Hey,
napkins?
you're the one that picked ribs for dinner.
Yeah, yep. Or like, hey, we're going out to eat nachos. Like, hey, you got yourself into this. You're gonna see what it looks like to eat nachos with a beard. So, but it is what it
Ah,
is.
so another thing we learned last night was we're getting too old to stand up at concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of the four of us, your friend was the only smart one that decided to bring a seat. And we had the
Yep.
conversation beforehand. We were all like, I think your mom had said it. Shout out,
Yeah.
Mama Nerd
I'm a
for
nerd.
coming to watch the kid,
Yeah.
and then the munchies later on that I scarfed down that whole bag and paid for it later. But they were good sourdough
I told her that,
brownies.
by the way, because she called after you left. She was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, she's like they're brownies, but they're not pop brownies. I was like, sweet, so I can eat them all at once then.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
I ended
sourdough
up eating.
brownies.
They were so good, man. They were so good. So shout out to her for those. But but yeah, now I forgot I got myself off on a tangent. I don't know
You
where
were
we went
talking
with that.
about homeboy bringing the folding chair.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So he was the only one that was smart enough to bring that chair, and it was like so. There's like a hill on this venue where you look down into it's like an amphitheater type deal, right?
Yep.
And it's uneven ground. Look, I used to be in shape at one point in my life. I've got hardware in my leg. I've got screws. My ankles, my back are bad. So like I was paying for it at the end. I thought I was gonna be tough. I was like, how bad could it be standing for a few hours?
No.
I won't do it. I won't do it again,
Yes.
dude.
Standing on the side of a hill for a few hours is different than like
Just stand.
if
Yeah.
we went to like a bar and saw them.
Yeah, it was not easy. My legs were falling asleep. There was a dude that actually I don't know if you had saw him when he had gotten up. His leg had like seized up from I guess from just sitting there so long. He like almost fell back. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
what really freaked me out was we were standing next to a footbridge so people could get up to the higher level of seats in the
Yeah.
amphitheater. And there were people with their chairs underneath the bridge. And I'm like, how are the chairs staying up? Because it's like this slanted.
It's steep. It's steep.
And I'm
Yeah, I
like,
don't know how the
how
damn.
is the folding chair not just sliding down?
Yeah, you're just like holding
Like, are
everything
they
back.
weighted?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to bring a brick and a bungee cord.
Yeah, yeah. Tether it to behind you.
It's like, damn. So you also, since we last met, you also went to another concert?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I Stig again. I Stig and Reefer Reaper. We ended up going to see Mastodon and
Oh yeah.
Lamb of God. So yeah, I know Mastodon's another one of your favorite bands.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I've listened to Mastodon. I've probably listened to Lamb of God a lot more than Mastodon, but I again, it's one of those things where I may not listen to a band, but I can appreciate the musicianship and the
Yeah.
hard work that goes into it, and to be able to see these artists play live, whether you like the music or not, whether it's something that you're always into, there's something special about seeing a musician pour their heart and soul out on the stage and bring something to you that they obviously thought was special enough to record, and make a career off of. So it's really cool just to even see those bands that play live. They're really awesome. So
Yeah. Especially last night's show. We were like prog rock gods last night. Coheed and then
yeah,
Primus, and they're doing Rush covers. And you're like,
yeah, dude, it
okay.
was awesome. Yeah, he came out.
Like
He
this
came
is all
out with
very
the.
technical.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, man. Your
Oh
boy
yeah,
came out with the
Claudio.
yeah. Yep, came out with the that big like robot and the fucking skull and shit. So I can't remember what song. Again, that's one of those things where I am really good at like if you put an artist on and you play a song for like 10 seconds. A lot
Yeah.
of times even by guitars or like by the way vocal sounds, like I could pick up on who it may be. But give me a song and the songs I have no clue. I couldn't name you some of the songs, or like even sometimes we have conversations about um, different lyrics and stuff like that, and my brain's shot, dude. I can't remember shit.
So I just looked it up. It was Cygnus X1 was the song that they played.
It was
I knew
good.
it was like a planet spaceship name for
Yeah,
for
it
the
was
song.
awesome. They had again with um, those monitors in the back. They had like a whole spaceship, and it was really cool. And Les Claypool, I mean, obviously everybody knows him for his being an amazing bass player, but he's got his keyboards all set up, his synths and all this stuff, and it's pretty cool because I mean it's definitely not Primus from back in the day, right? I mean they've always been changing it
He
up,
even
and they're
said it.
always yeah. It's awesome. It's really really cool to see. I was a little disappointed that Billy Strings didn't show up because I did double check any dates, and I know him and Billy Strings are good buddies. They could have been bass fishing up in the Adirondacks. I don't know, but I was hoping. And unfortunately, my heart was broken. No Billy Strings showed up, but it was still a good show.
Yeah, yeah. Even Les Claypool said he was like, "Remember when Eddie Van Halen started playing synths and we were all excited?" He's like,
Yeah.
I'm doing
Yep.
that shit now.
Yep. Hey, I'll take it, man. He really is a master. I mean, for me, I know we've talked about this. Les Claypool is one of those ones. I started off playing violin. That was the first instrument that I ever played, and I think it was I don't remember what grade. It was whenever they first start letting you do that within the school, right? So I started that, and
Yeah,
then it was like 10 years old is when I got my first bass. That was actually like given to me. And before that, I'd played my dad's, but um, that's what I love, man. And he was one of those bass players that I really looked up to, that I really loved his style. It was something that was different. And
yeah.
so really, really awesome guy. If you haven't listened to Primus before, I don't know what the fuck you've been doing. I don't know how you haven't heard of them.
It's been like
Uh,
almost 50 years.
yeah, they've been around for far too long. And what's amazing is actually I think that was your wife's first time uh, ever hearing Primus before, right? Like
I
she
showed her a couple songs, but yeah,
Yeah, she wasn't
and
like
like
a
so they played what the I can't remember the whole name of the song, the Meth Tweakers song, and then they
lacquerhead.
played no, it's called like all the Meth Tweakers, something
Oh
like that.
no,
They played that first, and then they played Golden Boy, and then after Golden Boy, they did like the little speech, and then she looked at me, she's like, "All right, I like that."
yeah, they're neat, man. Like I said, I was telling you, that was another one I had gotten for Christmas. I had gotten a DVD, and I wish I could remember. If I had looked back on what shows they have, I could remember because I've watched it on repeat. Um, just like putting on hit that one Primus show, and like I would remember like putting it on and then like sitting on my bed or standing in my room and like trying to learn the songs, or like I love like his one thing that he always does is like when he gets into like that little bit of a groove and he does like his stomping in circles like around
Yeah,
the stage. Like I always
that
love
shit
like
is
I
so
was
funny because he looks like he's like trying not to spill a glass of water. Like he's
yeah,
like
he's just
concerned about it.
yeah. Yeah, he is too cool, man. A weird individual, but very very smart, and you can tell there's a lot going on inside that head.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of big stuff happening this week. We were on YAG this
Yeah,
past
man.
weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun as usual. The last time I was on YAG, uh, the minutes before I knew that I was going to be on the show, I was laying in my bed in my boxers, and then I get the YAG call, and when YAG comes a calling, you answer. So
You
I was
gotta.
like, I guess we're doing this. I'm getting dressed and we're going. So it was a lot of fun. That was your first time on the show. And so what did you
Yeah.
think? Because I know it was something where it was like some funny
I
guys.
yeah. Like I knew it would be super super funny because all four of us are pretty funny, and we're like
Yeah.
ball busty. I just remember like after we finished, I was like my face hurt from laughing so much. And
Yeah, it was
I woke
good.
up the next morning, I was like, what the I I felt like I had blacked out even though I wasn't drinking. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep.
what happened last night?
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, they're a good group of guys. All four of them, the two of them that we're, Johnny Apple and Rev, of course, the two hosts of Yag. I consider them friends. I get to I've met Johnny a handful of times and hung out with him. I get to meet Rev next month, so definitely some cool guys. If you guys haven't listened to them, other than the show, that if you've listened to the one with us on it, definitely go check out their back catalog. They've got some great stuff, good information, smart guys, funny as fuck guys too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll have to get you back on there at some point for you a solo one as normal. As usual, we had to do things different. So the first time that you were ever on the show, they put me in the cuck chair to watch them beat you up for a little bit. But it was cool, man. A lot of fun.
And they let me remix the theme song and make the intro animation. So
It
that was awesome. I had a lot
it
of fun
was
doing that.
it was a completely different Yag show. I mean, if you guys look back at any other stuff, I mean, that was the first like this was a whole different show. So it was a lot of fun for sure. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
I definitely, I'm sure they listen to this. I'm definitely down to y'all ever want to do that again. You let us know. Maybe a little bit more time, a little heads up next time.
a little more than getting the live call from the stream.
Yeah.
Nah.
Hey, get the fuck on here.
Hey, you're on air.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Speaking of podcast appearances, we have one coming up this week, which is good.
Yep.
We're going to be on To Be Blunt with our friend Peasy.
Yeah. He does a great live show. It's every Thursday. I believe the time is 7 o'clock. And he's just got some great guests. He's got a different, I guess, the way he is a awesome hype man. Like the way you hear
Yeah.
it, that he gets everything going. He's got the music going. Like it sounds like almost like a radio show that you're listening to, right? Like he's got his breaks. He's really got. I think he's got his format pretty figured out. He's got the call-ins, and he's
That's
got
what I was
great
going to say.
guests.
Just like a radio show, he calls in. Me and some other people call in as fictional characters from time to time. So it has that
Yeah.
like old school radio feel to it, but it's also very like bright and modernized. So it's a cool style. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. They've had a lot of cool guests. They had, I think, the most recent guests, if I can recall, he just had the dog doctor on there. Very
Yeah.
interesting guy with his elusive mask. I don't know much. I don't know much about him, but everything that I've seen, he's got some pretty cool looking stuff that he does. And then there's, I think they just had the Bud trainers from Bud, the Bud Cups or whatever. Again, one of those things, I don't fuck with them because I break my plants, so I just don't train them. But looks like they've got some really cool products. They've got the Bud Cups and the clips, and now they're offering, if you break your shit, we've got tape for you to fix it. So
Oh,
good on
nice.
them. Yeah, good on them.
I want an LST just because I like the way it looks aesthetically, especially when you get it like four cornered, you know.
Yeah. No,
But
and
I don't know how to do it, so I'm at the point where trying to put an LST clip on feels like defusing a bomb. You're just like,
again, this is one of those things where maybe it's my ignorance to them, but I feel like when I see the most time I see people use these is, I feel at least like you're wanting to train these plants so we're getting a flat surface, right? We're training these plants out so that because in a tent you've only got that one directional light instead of being outside where we've kind of got hit by everything. I feel like I see most of these people use these bud trainer clips, or it doesn't have to be bud trainer, it could be anything, and they just like as the tree grows up, right? It's like the apical dominant, like a Christmas tree, and then we just train these side branches out, but then we leave this one huge branch
Leave
that's
the
going
main
straight
cola
up,
going.
and it to me it seems counterproductive that we're taking all of our low branches and moving them out, still having the canopy down here, but also still having the canopy up here. Maybe I'm just looking at it a different way, but it seems like you would want to really spread it out, and it would be more effective to use them that way, at least.
So I've done it semi-successfully once, but I didn't clip each branch. I waited until the plant was like maybe like this big, like probably around the point where you would put the city picker cover on, and
Okay.
then you just bend that over, and then it'll
Yeah.
grow out and then up. Because in that method, so for example, you have the main cola and then the side branches.
Yep.
If you tip it over, they're all the same. They're all equal
Exactly.
now, and then it can. So
Yeah.
that's how I always thought you use them, was when they're like, when the plant's like this big, you just bend it in half and then
Exactly. So
go.
right. So, and again, this is I don't know all the science behind it, but by bending these over, right, anything that's the highest point of a plant, that's where all of that energy is going to want to send it to, right? So it's going to say, okay, this is the highest point of the plant. Let's keep growing this way so we can get as big as possible, right? So if we're not taking those and bending them down, instead we're just letting the highest point of the plant continue to go, and then just take everything else and push it down. It's like
Yeah.
we're I feel like we're going against it, but it's definitely interesting. Again, I don't do it, one, because I fucking break the hell out of them, and I've done it far too many times, and then I'm depressed. And then two, I don't really care. Like most of these plants, I'd have to say that I'm growing. Some of them do have a little bit of a higher, main cola, but a lot of them have pretty good structure. And I think, my more preferred style of training plants is I'll go in there, whenever I'm noticing that one branch is getting a little higher, and I'll pinch it. I guess technically it's is it monster cropping or mega
Super
cropping or
cropping.
something? Yeah, where you're just pinching it and just kind of bending it over a little bit, and that's basically just taking that highest point and putting it down below some of the other branches so they can kind of catch up. So that's my preferred.
Yeah.
That's what I do. But yeah, I've
Which
done them
I've
all.
done
I haven't
that
tried
once
tying them
as
down.
well.
And,
Yeah.
and what do you find? What do you find? Because I know right now you don't really do much training, right?
No. And I'm at the point where I feel like it's essentially all practice at this point, because I feel like I'm still in general not good enough at growing where I would be able to tell the difference if I LST'd or not. So I usually just let the plants grow natural. And
I mean,
then,
like
I've experimented.
yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing is I think the more you do it, right, you're at the point where you not change every grow, but you have changed in a short amount of time. So you're still finding what works best for you and what
Yeah.
you feel like you're competent at, right? So I think over time you're gonna be like, okay, obviously we figured out the city pickers, right? Like that's the SIP system is what you like, and that's what it's because it's so easy to grow in, right? So boom,
Yeah.
we've now figured that out, and then now it's like, okay, do we want to train more now that we're kind of figuring out the top dressing? And I mean, there's so many variables to work on. It's really hard. It's really, and I can tell you, I've been growing a little bit longer than you, and it's still, I don't fucking get it. Like I still screw up my plants, and I'll use the excuse that it's that's why I grow autos, because it's so hard. Like with
Yeah.
photos, you can really dial in and you can kind of tune those things in and get really good plants. But autos, it's kind of, even within a pack of autos, you may get one that just that pheno is just a little bit more particular than the other one. And I mean, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Once you get, unless you're really good at keeping ahead of things. But I'm not. I let things get
Yeah.
out of control quick, and then sometimes you get it back, sometimes you don't. And yeah, I'm definitely not at that point where I can get things early enough to correct them and have big, beautiful autos. But we get there halfway.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like with autos, once the clock starts, it doesn't stop. So you
That's
just got
it.
to keep going, right?
Yep. it's like a race car, man. I think I don't know who said it, but that's basically what it is, man. Because it's with those photos, you can plant the seed and then you can veg it, and they're like, well, shit, it looks like it's clearly like it needed more of this, or like I need a little bit more time, and then you can flip it to flower, right? With those autos, man, once you plant those seeds, that is it. You better be fucking ready. You better be ahead of it. And it is what it is, right? There's no getting it back. Once you get that
Yep.
deficiency, unless you've got something to fix it quick,
Which doesn't really exist in organics.
Yeah, no, it can be really tough. And then actually, shout out to the soil makers. Some of that stuff that I gave you, their veg formula. I think it's Elevate. I've been using that with some of my smaller containers this time, and that definitely helped. It's nice to have, especially with the organics, having water soluble stuff. And there's so many different stuff that's out there, but that's kind of my preferred that I'm going down. I've always been a diehard build a soil fan. But I've started going towards soil makers. I found that I like to be able to support someone that's more local to me, someone that if I wanted to go to their facility, I could. It's not it's not like I'd have to drive to build a soil. So yeah, they've got some cool stuff to check out for sure.
Also, we wanted to give a shout out to our friend Charles Budkowski.
Yeah.
For sharing our rosin video this week, rosin press video.
Yeah, I guess he got his first rosin press, and he's squishing away. And it's definitely one of those things. I mean, you know how it can be when you first get it and you see everybody posting in the Discord, or kind of your expectations of I'm going to get this press, and now this hard work that you've just put in for the last 80-90 days, and then you're drying it, and then putting it into a press or whatever it is, and then just not getting the return that you want. And it's just it can be very disheartening. It can be it can be a bummer for sure, because you see all your hard work just going down the drain. And
you're blowing
it's awesome.
An eighth to a quarter at a time,
Yeah. So it's definitely heartbreaking, and I love to see that again, these videos that we make, while we're definitely not professionals and I don't know all the ins and outs, that video in itself, just him saying that and sharing that, it was able to help him, even if it was just one little thing that he pulled out of that video. That's it. Like that I'm happy with it. Like, I'm happy that video was able to help that one person, and that's what these videos are all about. And we appreciate you, Chuck, and we appreciate anybody that spends their time with us. So thank you.
Yeah, it's great. We love helping people as much as we can, at least.
Yeah, and it's nice. That's one thing. Again, I'm not going to sit on the high horse of Discord, right? I think everybody, a lot of us, like to hang out in Discord. I think it's just it's one of those things where it's easier to have a community that I find. It's really awesome to be a part of a community. Like, again, the guys over at YAG, we're in there all day, every day. Everybody says good morning to each other. We all talk to each other. People check in on each other if you don't hear from somebody. Maybe I don't hang out with the right people on Instagram. I don't know. But I don't get that on Instagram. I don't get again, shout out iStig with his daily affirmations every morning in all of the yeah. I mean, it just goes to show you that there's people out there that care. And if it's ever where you feel alone, or you just don't know what you're doing, you want to talk to somebody, growing, not growing related, there's people there for you for sure. And so I always encourage everybody to get over to Discord, YAG or ours or otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we do have some sad news today.
Okay. Hit him with
and that is, I believe we're done with the Nerd Girls podcast.
Yeah, it's yeah, I know.
We just ripped the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, that was it. I know we
did it.
you were unsure if you wanted to mention that or not, and I'll let you kind of talk a little bit more about that. But I mean, that was how I met you. That was my shirt that I've got from you, and that was how all this started. You asked me to be on that show to do that one little like
The
come on and
voiceover thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yep. And that was my first time ever being really introduced. Like you introduced me to this more social media type side. Like I was already on Instagram beforehand, but
Yeah.
your podcast definitely. I've always loved the way you set it up. So um, it's
Well,
sad.
that
It's
was
sad to see it
something
go.
I wanted to discuss with you live on air, so you can't say no. No,
Oh
but
shit.
yeah, so essentially what happened was I like working with Grateful more than I like working by myself. So
Yeah.
while doing like a solo podcast was fun, we decided to start doing this podcast. I had originally thought that I would be able to handle both, but we're also trying to grow, like we said with our rosin press video, the instructional side of our YouTube channel outside of the more personal side of our podcast. So it just got to the point where I couldn't do two podcasts and video editing at the same at the same
Yeah. I
time.
mean, it's a lot of work for you, man. I definitely and anybody that I've ever talked to, I always tip my hat to you because you are like I don't mean like the brains behind it, but you do all like the back work around here, man. I mean, you're the one that really knows the ins and outs. This is something that it's not just we're not just making these videos and podcasts and this and that for the views and trying to get like clout chasing. Like this is something that you really enjoy. Like you enjoy the editing part, how it turning different things. Like we talked about how you did the Yag the remix, right? Like
Yeah.
we like how you got in there and it was just you changing the BPMs of how the tune went, and it like you really have the ins and outs of it, and
Well, thank
I,
you.
I tip my hat to you, sir, is what I'm trying to say.
I just like I like being creative with computers. That's something I've always loved my whole life. Like when I was little, I my first website ever when I was 9 was an online Pokédex that I had made.
Oh, no
I
kidding.
was really into Pokemon at the time. And then I also used to make my own video games. I've always made music.
Yeah.
Uh, I just like, yeah, I like using computers to be creative because they're really powerful. They can do a lot of cool things.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it shows even the short amount of time. I mean, obviously you were doing this beforehand, but even the short amount of time. I mean, you and I we talk throughout the day from the time that we're up to the time that we're going to bed. I mean, we talk quite
Yeah.
quite frequently, and you're always telling me about these. Like, hey, I just learned this new thing, or like, hey, I'm looking into this, and then like, and you can see from the first videos that we were doing together to now. I mean, how much things have improved on both sides. Like for me, but I mean, from you,
Yeah,
you clean
definitely.
up you clean up my side, so I look like I'm halfway decent, right? Instead of just a bumbling mess for a fucking hour and a half. So
Yeah, no. So I like, yeah, basically, I'd rather have us do as much as we can duo instead of solo. But with that
yeah.
said, as Reverend Johnny said on Yag this weekend, like one of the things they appreciated about their Nerd Girls podcast and something that was one of the most fun parts for me was the absurdist humor that I
Hmm.
was able to add into it by adding in like little sound effects and little funny things like that. So that is something I want to start trying to do more with our YouTube videos. And I used to do it
Hmm.
before, like you said like, oh, I watched this with Bleach, but then I had the anime character Bleach come up on the screen, like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
want to start doing that more with our actual videos just to kind of inject the absurdist humor back into it because we're gonna
Absolutely.
lose that shutting down Nerd Grows.
Sure, sure. Yeah, no, get kind of consolidating everything, and not saying that we're you know the quality over quantity. I'm not saying that in any kind of way, but you know what I mean. More focused on to kind of this has been something that between you and I, right? We started off as one silly reel. It was you
Yeah.
messaging me, like we were talking back and forth, and you're like, you came to me, you're like, dude, what do you think about making this real? And at that point I was like, if I could go back in my reel, like my all my photos, and show you how many times I shot that, um it's funny. So yeah, but yeah, I'm getting a little off track here, but yeah, man, it's cool to see how everything has evolved from what it was to what we're doing now. So I mean, things could change, right? In another 3 months from now, maybe we do something a little bit different. But it's our plan is we enjoy doing this, and we want to improve it until I think we find not our voice, but kind of find where we fit into our groove. And
Yeah.
things will change; they're going to change, and we appreciate the feedback from the community, something that you guys may like. If you guys want to see something, or something different how we do it, let us know. We want this to be, we enjoy being in the community, and having the community's feedback is definitely something important to us.
Definitely. Yeah, hit us up. Any suggestions, criticisms, tell me to fuck off.
Tell
It's
us we suck. Yeah, whatever. Just let us know
well,
that you're there.
tell us we suck worse than Primus.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's another one of the like a sticker or something we gotta. So for anybody that doesn't know how, at least so far our podcasts have been coming out, each podcast has a different cover, right? Our first one was a Beavis and Butthead, and then since then we've kind of gone the route where um, it's been music, album
Album
covers or whatever.
covers.
Yeah, that we kind of spoof off in our own. It's funny because like the day before, like the day of, we're like thinking like, what are we gonna do? And then of course, we have certain limitations as to what we can play off of because of our logo, right? But
Yeah.
it's something that I think is fun. I don't, we want to be different than everybody else, and I think being able to do that just kind of gives off our little. We're both very musically. Music drives us. I think both of us pretty heavily. I've got it on since the time I'm, awake to the time I'm going to sleep. So I could not live without music, and I think it's just
Oh yeah.
a cool way for us to kind of bring in our love for music into what we're doing here. So for anybody that doesn't know, that's why they change up, and they're like these weird covers. And of course, since we saw Primus, it's going to be for this episode, it'll be a Primus cover. So
Yep. It's pork soda, but I made nerd soda.
yeah, yep. So it's cool, man. Again, that goes back to you enjoy making these things, and you enjoy, doing those cool, and I may not be the one that's doing it, but we definitely will bounce ideas off each other, or other way. Sometimes I'll come up with something, and then we talk back and forth, and we kind of it's fun. It's something that we definitely enjoy. Like I'm the one. I personally love getting my hands on things and trying these new things. So it's really cool to see kind of where we both come from, right?
Yeah.
How we approach what we do.
Speaking of getting your hands on things, Johnny, that's how you do a transition, by the way. How is your breeding project going? I know it's only been a couple days since we were on the ag, so I don't
Yeah.
know if you have too many updates, but
So I since I've gotten like literally since I got home and just took care of a couple things, I have not been down in the garden yet. So it could be a
oh dang.
complete mess as we're talking right now. I don't know, but everything else has been going good. We're about at the point where the male is going to be cold soon. Um, I am going to collect as much pollen as I can possibly. I actually, in the Alabrije Discord, if you go into, I think it's pollen chucking, or I don't know what sub thing he has it there. I always try to pick his brain. There's a few other people that I'll pick their brains on things, but him in particular, I'd asked him how he collects the pollen. And so if it's anything that you guys are ever curious about, I think it's in there somewhere. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to follow the Alabrije tech. I mean, not that it's Alabrije, I'm going to follow what he recommended. And any homies that are interested in making any crosses, I'm only going to hold on to it for so long. So if you're hearing this, let me know. I've got some 91 grapefruit pollen. So we're going to try that out. But then after that, the male is going to be culled, and then we'll let the rest of those seeds ride out to mature as much as possible. it's kind of crazy, man, because you know, I've only ever grown bud for flower, right?
Yeah.
It's really strange to see the morphology, like what that plant does when once it's pollinated compared to when it's, you know, just unseeded. It's really cool how the plant changes. Um, so it really, this is one of those things where I wanted to try it, whether it becomes of anything or not. It's something I can say that I've tried. So, but yes, the breeding project's going well. I hope.
Yeah, it's a great skill to learn to be able to
Yeah.
breed, because you think from the consumer perspective, getting seeds in your buds is usually a bad thing, but like doing it intentionally, I'm sure feels way different.
Yeah,
We all
it
have that
feels
like
cool.
trauma of finding seeds. So you're just
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh,
And you know, it's one of the funny thing is I think I don't have I don't know where I heard it, but I feel like I've heard it somewhere. You know, people say that seeded bud sometimes is better, right? Because the plant will I guess they make different things in it that
okay,
express differently. So some people say that seeded bud is better than others, I guess, for effects wise. I don't know. I feel like I've heard it somewhere, so it's kind of interesting. My plan is to at least try to sift some of it, try to wash, you know, try to make some hash or something out of it, so I don't go a full, you know, 2 cycles without having anything coming into my stash. So we'll see.
yeah,
We'll give it a try.
yeah, you should be able to process it in some way.
I feel like there's got to be a way. But who knows?
So not only are you doing your garden, but you also did my garden this morning. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
we
you
woke up
you
bright and early after going to bed at 1 a.m. And
yeah,
then 6:30, we're like, all right, let's let's
let's
get some
do it.
soil going.
Yep, yeah. So you know, we had picked up some soil makers, and
Yeah.
I'll let you take it from there. You're gonna be, are you fully gonna transfer over to soil maker amendments and all that, or are you just kind of getting your feet wet with this first round?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And at this point, I'm not even sure if I'm super picky about it.
Sure.
See, at this point, I've only done Build a Soil and now Soil Makers, and then I started off with Fox Farm Salts.
Fox Farm.
So it's not
Oh
like
yeah.
I have enough experience with different amendments to really have a to have brand loyalty.
Sure. Sure.
I
No.
only do I only do
Yeah.
Marlboro worm castings.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, it is, you know, I would say that I pretty much marked my growing style off of one video from Build a Soil, and that specific video was him talking about earth boxes and growing and night owl. There's I don't know how far the video, how long ago it was, but
I think I
that's
watched
what
that
I
one too.
that was like, okay, I'm watching this and I am just going to follow exactly what he's doing. And the thing I like about Jeremy and the whole, you know, persona that Build a Soil does is you don't have to buy their stuff to be doing what they're doing, right? You can source whatever it is in different locations, just as long as you're putting in good inputs and you're taking care of your soil. You're trying to be a steward to the soil, right? Um, so for
And
me,
that's
being
usually
on the
the sign of a good company is when they provide. Because you think with the way the internet works, everyone has to kind of be their own marketing team now,
Mhm.
especially small businesses.
Sure.
So you'll have small businesses that will try to do like clickbaity stuff or clout chasey kind of stuff, but especially with gardening, just promoting your business by just giving solid advice to the community,
Yeah.
that definitely gets you brownie points,
Yeah.
regardless of how you feel about them.
Sure. Absolutely. But yeah, like, so what my point was is, you know, that's like I've said in videos before, you know, the reason why I'm trying, you know, like I said, I've been a loyal Build a Soil fan for a long time. That's what I've always used in my garden. Um, but one of the things that, you know, he talks about is, you know, talking about your footprint, right? And how you're consuming products that are being shipped from across the country, or whatever that is, you know, then you're buying from a second person. Um, being here on the East Coast, it's a lot easier for me to get to a specific like the soil makers, and that's why I'd like to support
Yeah, because we
someone
did
that's
pick up. We didn't even do
yeah
delivery.
yeah. So I personally go pick it up from the guys that mix all those amendments from wherever it is that they get them. They mix it right in house, put it inside those bags, and then from the guy that put it in that bag, he puts it in my hand. And being able to support somebody local, somebody that I've talked to, I've gone to some of their classes. They're really knowledgeable guys. They know their stuff. So that's why I specifically am getting my feet wet with the soil makers, and I've seen nothing but good things from them. Everybody that's grown, again, shout out iStig. This fucking episode was sponsored by fucking iStig.
Yeah, I know,
Apparently,
right? He's been hooking us up.
yeah, he's the one that turned me on to them. He's the one that we went to a rosin class together over there with him. But he was the one that turned me on to him. And go check out his Instagram, and he's always posting over in our Discord or YAG Discord. He's got some good looking plants, and he runs the no-till method with their Elite Co. and using all of their amendments. So yeah, go check him out for soil maker, just to show you the shit works.
Yeah. So as we discussed last episode, my garden is a mess. So normally I had the clone in the side tent, and then normally I run 4 city pickers. I had 2 city pickers completely empty because my soil had fungal gnat infestation, and that soil I got was like very mulchy. So that's why I decided to get the soil makers, because I was overusing that soil after everything that happened with it. So this morning we set up one of the earth boxes, and then we got rid of all the fly soil.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you showed me how to top dress the drowsy Lobaka, which is good.
Yeah, she's day 40 something.
40.
She's starting to get those Guy Fieri. She's definitely still stretching. And I only say that because those little I can always tell by like the farthest up the stem, if it still feels a little bit malleable, I'm like, okay, she's still moving a little bit. But yeah, she's definitely starting to that flower starting to set in. So we use the rest of that build a flower. And then what else did we end up using? Did you end up using that the fungal compost, or didn't add any of that?
Yep, I put that on.
Nice.
I put that on after you left. I also defoliated it.
Okay.
Where
Did you
I
end up
took off
doing what I had said?
Yeah.
Chopping it up and put. Okay. All right. Because usually you would.
Oh, I thought you were going to say do the inside leaves.
Yeah. Shout out Captain Autoflower. That was a little tip that he came up with, or that I had heard him say. Yep.
So I did all. What did you say?
I what'd you say? This Did I say it wrong? Captain Autoflower?
No, I said Captain Tech.
Oh yeah, Captain. Yep. That's from now on. Whenever I see somebody do it, that's what it's getting named by them.
So I did that, and I also did any like bigger fan leaves that were covering bud sites, but it's looking good. I feel like I pulled, I think so bushy. Because I pulled like 30 leaves off the other day. I feel like I pulled another 30 off today.
Yeah, man.
And it still doesn't look naked or anything.
She's raging, man, and it's nice. Again, you haven't done any training as in the main stem coming up, the main cola, but everything stayed pretty well. It's shaped like a freaking bush.
Pretty even. Yeah.
And again,
like perfectly round.
That goes to the genetics, right? I mean, that's definitely what because if you go in his Discord, that's pretty much what unanimously, that's all you see is pretty much that same structure, and it's really nice looking. It's really nice.
Yeah. So you were at my house about 4 hours ago?
Yep.
And then so you left. I did all the gardening, and then I went to Walmart, and then we hopped on and started recording. Oh, speaking of, at Walmart, they have all the gardening stuff on clearance.
Oh shit. Okay. End of the
so
year.
I actually got another half-gallon pot, but it's really cool. It's like faux, like stone.
Nice.
So we were
So yeah,
talking this morning. I have a Warhammer. It's not a Warhammer. It's a knockoff, but Warhammer figurine of a samurai that I was
yep.
thinking of painting and then trying to bonsai over it. Have a little like samurai kung fu movie scene.
Yeah, and so specifically this what we're talking about. This is for Alabrije's great bonsai grow along, his annual bonsai grow along that he's been doing. I think this is technically the third year, but officially the second one. I'm not really sure what the details are, but September is gonna the Alabrije bonsai grow along is gonna be rolling out. So that's what you're getting everything ready for, right?
Yep. So I have two that I want to try out. So I did find a half-gallon sip system, also at
Sweet.
Walmart on clearance. I got it for like $1.50 or $2 or something. And
That's
then
good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go.
the stone pot I got today was also $2.
No kidding.
But a lot of their pots are like under $5 right now. They even I also
Sweet.
picked up a tray, like the underneath tray,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was like a quarter, I think.
Nice. Yeah. So this is the time, y'all. This is heads up. Get your ass out to Walmart. Get that cheap gardening stuff for next year. So, hell
And
yeah.
with that, I'm really excited for the bonsai grow. So I tried to do it last
Yep.
year, but I had only been
Yeah.
growing for 1 month at the time. So I grew two. One of them hermed, and then the other one, which I think it was a Mephisto tester I got, was the one
Yeah.
that hermed. I also didn't know what I was
Tracking.
doing. I was
Yeah.
herming everything at that point. Uh, and then the other one I was using an oversized paper clip to have two seedlings wrap around each other. And I
Yeah.
actually got them to wrap around twice. And then I picked it up one day, and the corner of the clip I was using snagged the fabric pot and just ripped everything out of the soil. I was like,
It was
okay.
such a bummer.
So
Yeah.
I just quietly faded into the background. And
What grow along? I was never part of. I have no
yeah,
idea.
wow, you guys are doing some cool stuff over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be exciting. Anybody that's you have to. I think it's you've got to get over to his Discord, and you know there's certain rules behind it. So don't miss out on that if you're new to Alabrije. So
And I'm gonna have the 2x2 set up for just for
so
the bonsais.
so we're gonna do the 2x2 is gonna be a bonsai tent. Now, what do you think? Are you just gonna do just the two, or since I feel like with the 2x2 you may have some room to might as well
Oh
fuck
yeah, I
around and
could
find
probably
out
fit like
something.
6.
Yeah, right, right.
I could see
Get
you
a
doing that
couple.
shit.
Yeah, get a
No.
couple solo cups or something. Try to make some like I know you were working on that little bonsai city picker. Hopefully,
Oh
hopefully you get
yeah.
all
Oh,
that
I got to do
situated
that
out.
too. So yeah, I have 3. Speaking of, I have it right here. Shout out to New Moon for making
Yeah,
me a miniature city picker cover. I
the
don't know if
poor
you all saw
guy.
that. Yeah.
The stuff that we put him through, like, hey, dude, can you make me this?
The so I found this little like pencil like paperclip cup thing at dollar store, and then I
Yep,
took hardware cloth and I like bent it into the shape of a city picker tray and put it in, and then I cut a reusable straw for the straw, and then
that's
this
too
fits
cool,
over
man.
it. So I have like a little, it's like a dollhouse sized city picker with New Moon
It's
cover and
gonna be
everything.
awesome. Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
were
be so
joking, like
funny.
we're gonna have to get some tech deck wheels to put underneath it,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I'll put some fingerboards on it. I'll have
yep.
to get like the world's tiniest funnel to put in the. Do you do that, or do you just like pour right in?
I just pour it right in. So that's one of the other reasons why I know we were talking about this earlier as to why I prefer the brand name Earth boxes over the city pickers. And one of those reasons is if you take a 1 gallon jug and you literally turn it upside down and put it right on top of the hole, the Earth box ones literally have it has a big enough lip where you can get that whole jug in there. The city
Oh, that's cool.
pickers, you kind of, I mean, you know, from trying to, dump it in there, it doesn't quite fit. So you kind of just have to hold it just right. But yeah, that I just dump her over and then I'll do like a little swish and then it'll
Yep.
like funnel
Get the
down and
swirl going.
yep, that's it. So
So I use I use lemonade jugs. Like I just open the tent like, y'all want a glass? Like,
yeah, at least that hey, I'll take that over my. We'll address it right here. my nasty
Oh yeah, those
jugs.
are good ones.
So I've used like so those jugs I've been using. I don't know. They've got to be close to a year old on some of them. Some of them are a little discolored because I do mix things in there occasionally. So like if I used to put like water soluble stuff in there, and then I'd go around and dump it on all the the smaller plants. Um, so that's why I'm pretty sure I'm growing algae in there of some sort. And
That's what it looked like.
yeah, yeah. So that's what it is. If you're wondering why Grateful's fucking room looks fucking nasty with the nasty ass 1 gallon jugs, I'm working on my own algae, folks. So
Yeah, yeah. So I was editing your garden update video, and before you opened the jug, I saw the color of the plastic, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what kind of nutrients he has in here." It was like green film. It looked like a Saw movie. Like, and then you started pouring it, and the water came out perfectly clear, and I'm like, "That's gross."
yeah, yeah.
I was like,
I'm
dude.
sorry, guys. I don't often buy 1 gallon jugs because I hate the idea of having to pay for water. Like that, that's just something that just it
Yeah,
drives me nuts
or
having to pay
disposable
for it.
plastic as well.
Yeah, so I want to get as much life of that out of them as possible. I think I'm probably at the end of it where I probably should you know uh, send them to the great beyond.
It's another good Walmart find. You can get the lemonade jugs for like $2,
Yeah, you're saying the
especially like
problem is
in the springtime before like barbecue season starts, and they'll
oh
put them
yeah,
out for
yeah.
$2.
So here's what I do is I have the 1 gallon jugs and I fill all of my jugs upstairs in the kitchen, right? So
That's what
I
I do too.
so fill them up in the kitchen and then I'm carrying them downstairs. So what I do is I think I have like 10 or 11 jugs. And what I'll try to do is I'll go through, like, I'll have all of them all filled up and then I'll go through all of them. And then once I'm down to the last 2, then I'll take all the old ones and then fill them up and then they'll go back into rotation. So
So I tried to do the same thing, and I actually had a problem with that.
Really?
So
What was it?
when I had my 2x4, I was having humidity problems, like when I first started growing. So I was just pouring gallon after gallon in there.
Okay.
And then I was reusing the jugs, and then I did the exact same thing where I did like 9 jugs at once, and I just let them sit on the counter, and then I went to go use them, and they all smelled disgusting. And I'm like, it was literally, it had distilled
Really?
water in it, and then it had tap water in it, and then that was it. And I'm like, why is this so gross?
I'm wondering if it's because I mean you're on city, but still that's concerning that the water that you
Yeah.
drink or the water that you like will stink like that. But I'm on a personal well, so like the worst with mine is my water is definitely hard. You'll notice like sometimes on the sides of my earth boxes I'll have like that calcium buildup or whatever minerals it is. But I'd rather just put in that water than do an RO because I can't justify dumping wastewater down when it's my own personal well and I can run that shit dry.
Yep.
So,
Now I do have the 2x2 open in preparation for the bonsai, and that's because we'll have to say rest in peace to the Hella Jelly clone. She's gone.
yeah. So what happened?
So I did what Johnny said on the egg, and I like dug down and looked for roots or to see if I found any rot. And I was digging down. I was like, nothing, 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 nothing. And then at that point, I just committed to pulling it, and I pulled it, and nothing had happened at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I just watered a leaf for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I just had a little
It's
pet.
such a bummer, man. It's such a bummer. Like, it's an experiment,
We think, like,
right? I mean, you had
like people will make whole racks of clones, and I'm sure like not all of them will take, right? So the fact that I was rolling the dice on one, well, I had 2 originally, but one died like really fast, and then the other one was good for a while.
Yeah, Johnny's clones never stood a chance with us.
No. You have the record. You killed yours in like 7 hours.
Yeah, mine was pretty quick. I mean, mine was not it was not happy. So
I got mine to day 28.
but hey, you tried and you try again. I mean, you don't have any foreseeable plans soon of running a photo, but I'm sure you will at some point because I know you.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely a skill I want to learn is how to grow photos and how to clone photos.
The one thing that's kept me honestly away from going down the photo route is because of that 12-12 cycle, right? It's not that I'm afraid of doing the change or whatever it is. One of the reasons why, like, there's many reasons why I particularly like growing autos, but for this one particular reason is I run my lights 20 hours on, 4 hours
That's
off,
what I do
right?
too.
And it's so much easier to control a 4 hour lights off cycle. And that could be just me making an excuse for as to why I don't want to get more equipment or why I don't want to learn. But I can tell you that extended lights off cycle definitely, you have more of those fluctuations, and if you can't control the humidity and temperature when you get in a flower, you might as well just be throwing all your work away.
Yeah.
And I just have not gotten to that point where I feel comfortable enough.
And I have the issue with temperature because my basement gets cold and my 4x4 is right next to the window. So running at 24 gives it enough heat where even it doesn't dip that much during the 4 hours off. But yeah, so having 12 and 12, even indoor, would still have to be a summer thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you really have to you have to get the equipment. Like if I was to get a mini split and possibly a larger exhaust, yeah, I could control that. But I run my stuff in very minimal, very very low tech.
Yep. So I also have the Frogception V1 on day 60,
It's
and
looking good.
it's all right. It's like medium.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
I think it,
everything looks like it's ripening up pretty good. You should be pretty close
yeah,
to harvesting. It'll be a decent harvest too.
yeah, it'll be a good harvest. I noticed that. So one thing I've been screwing up is I think once the plant gets towards the end of its life, I start to get a little lazy with watering. I also believe I missed. No, I put Build-A-Flower on it, but nowhere near as much as I should have after watching you do it.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, even with the Build-A-Flower that we put on there, I may have, if I had more, I would have put more.
Yep.
Because and that's usually, like I said, when I talked about how I top dress mine, I don't necessarily go all the way around the backside. I probably could, but just covering a larger area, and especially with that Build-A-Flower, man, you really gotta. It's designed to be like an inch or so, like just caking the surface. So yeah, I don't think that you'll overuse Build-A-Flower, but who knows? Maybe you
Oh yeah,
could.
funny because Craft Blend says like use 4 to 8 tablespoons or whatever, and then to Build-A-Flower just says use handfuls.
Yeah. And I am of the camp. I live in the camp where it's you measure with your heart. And
Yeah,
that was when we top dressed today. You're like,
I was trying to hand him a measuring spoon. He's like, "Nah, we're doing this emotionally."
yeah, yeah. I was like, let me get the craft blend real quick. And I just kind of scoop my hand. He's like, see, I normally use. I was like, yeah, I think we'll be all right. We'll just right there. So.
All right. Well, I have to get going in a minute, but I have 2 new plants I started today. So I
Okay.
started Tangy that you gave me, thank you, and
Yeah.
a Nuka cheese as
Sweet.
well, which I think you also gave me those seeds.
Yeah, yeah. No, those are two that I've grown. I've grown the F3 a couple times now. Great. You've had some of the rosin and some of the flour, I believe, and
Yep.
the Nuka cheese I know I've given you as well, and that's another Hummingbird Hills. He's got great stuff as well. He's another auto flower guy to definitely keep your eye on.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be my, I think, first time. Yeah, not my first time smoking Hummingbird Hills, but first time growing.
First time, yeah, yeah. You'll be happy with him.
Because I think
He's got great
so far
stuff.
I've only done Mephisto, Night Owl, BGG, and Albury. Oh, no, I did a speed run as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you've definitely got your hands on a bunch of them, but yeah, I would put Hummingbird Hills on the same plane as all the other ones that we grow and love. So yeah, definitely a guy not to be slept
Yeah.
on.
And then also, so those, I have those all in with the new soil and everything. It's looking really nice. This is also the first time I'm using barley straw as a mulch layer. I got that from the homeboy Tree Jays. He had an
Oh
extra
yeah.
bag of it that he gave me when we were swapping.
Nice, dude. Yeah, and that's the one thing I love about it, man. Being able to have all of us at least close enough where we can, we can kind of squirrel stuff off to the side for each other and kind of save it off and be like, hey, when I meet up with you, we can share all this. And so it's great to see that these online communities that we all met each other on and never knew anything about each other, and now it's not saying that it's the online community is not real life, but we actually get to meet and hang out and do things together. So. It just
Yeah,
goes to
see,
show you how strong the cannabis community is and how cool everybody is.
yeah, and like when we bump into each other, we're just like, here's a box of all my extra stuff. All right,
Yeah,
thanks. A box of all your extra stuff.
all the new harvest, the stickers, and all the
Yeah,
fun
oh,
stuff.
I got eight of these stickers. Here's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Someone sent me
Yep.
7 seeds. Here's 3 of them.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Spread the
Oh
love.
yeah, you got to see my seed spreadsheet today. Getting nerdy with it. Got
Yeah,
like
man.
filters on it. Got pivot
I love it.
tables going.
He knew how to fucking oh, okay, we want just Alabrije, and it'll just type some shit in, and it's like just pops up that, or here's that. Pretty cool, man.
Oh.
I am definitely not as organized. I pull my box out, and then we're just like randomly throwing stuff on that bed. Like, fuck, what am I gonna fucking grow?
Yeah, and I had you decipher some of your handwriting for me today.
Yeah, I have terrible handwriting. Now,
Me too.
imagine me putting like a little thing together and then trying to write on. Yeah, it was a recipe for disaster.
All right. Do you have anything else?
No, man. It was good to see you. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you having
definitely.
me over with the family, and it's always good to see everybody. And I appreciate you as always, man.
Hell yeah. And make sure to check us out on To Be Blunt podcast this week.
Yeah. Yep. Thursday at 7:00, I believe. But we run
Yeah.
on PZ time, so it may be like 7:10 or something like that. Who knows?
Maybe 2 a.m. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll be on eventually. Just stay tuned.
All right. All right.
Cool, man.
Until next time. Peace, y'all.
See ya.